Welcome back, guys. We are back with another video, and in this video, we'll be creating this 3D interaction together using React, Reactive Fiber, and R3 App Scroll Rig. It's a new library, and we'll be using this library to sync our 3D with the UI. But you should know about this because we'll be using this library. So if you don't know about this library, so you should be checking out this tutorial where I explained detailed about this library and how to sync your 3D with the UI in React. So if you have already watched that video, so we can continue. Let's go. Okay, so go to the description and clone the repo, clone the starter file I have given. In this case, I'm going to do it with you guys. So 3D gallery YT, open it in your code editor, and now I'm going to clone this repo, the starter file. So go to code and copy this URL. Now open your terminal by pressing Ctrl and backtick. Backtick is under the escape key. So at git clone, paste the URL and dot to clone this in this folder. So we have to install those dependencies. So npm I to install, npm run dev to run the server, and now L5. Let me open this. So in the starter we have a rotating cube at the center and it interacts with the scroll. So let me describe a bit about the starter. So we have DOM and global scene. Global scene contains global canvas and len is smooth scroll bar. Yeah. So if you haven't watched the previous video, then this might look a bit challenging to you. So go and watch that previous video first and then come back to this video. So in DOM we have main div and then our cube components. Yeah, so we have our rotating box which tracks this scroll ref. Now let's delete this cube, and also in DOM let's just remove this import. I'm going to create a gallery folder, and inside it I can create gallery JSX RFCE. Let me just import it here, and it's an empty fragment for now. Add a div, hide screen with full VGRED 500. Yeah, so yeah, we have our div, and let's add use canvas here, scroll scene, and it needs to track something. We can get the reference of the div track, use the ref null and track. I'm going to return a function here, and it will return a mesh with box geometry and normal material. Yeah, let's just scale it so we can see what's going on, and let's just grab this track, reference it. Yeah, now if I refresh, you can see a box at the center of the screen. Now in this demo we have the logo at the center of the screen, but this doesn't interact with the scroll. I mean, this doesn't goes up and down when I scroll. It only rotates when I scroll. So we also have to make it sticky using some techniques. So let me just make it sticky top 0 left 0. Now you can see this red div has is not scrolling with the scroll, is not going up and down, but the box is going up and down, it's interacting with the scroll. So why this is happening? Because scroll scene doesn't support sticky position. And once another thing to keep in mind is, if you are using sticky, make sure to give your parent relative, otherwise it will not work. So yeah, so this scroll scene doesn't support sticky position. So we have another component for that, that's sticky scroll scene. And I don't know why this import doesn't works. This doesn't gives me suggestions, so I'm going to import it manually. Copy this from it's from 14 islands R3F scrollwix / power ups. Now if I see, I'm getting some error. And it's just a Vite error, so we can fix that by going to node modules and going to .vite, then delete this dependencies folder and rerun the server. Sorry, vimrun dev. Yeah. Now if you can see, this box is not going up and down with the scroll, it's staying at the same place. Going to remove the background color. Now what I can do to structure these things, we can create a elements folder inside gallery and logo j6. By creating logo, because they also have a logo at the center of the screen, so I'm going to replace this div with a logo. So rafce, and it will return a group with a mesh. Sorry, we can just copy this thing and add the logo here. So I'm going to paste it here. Now I'm going to use a model here, so let me just import that model. By the way, you can download this model from the description, so don't worry, or you can use any other model if you have any. So const model, going to use gltf and give it a path diamond.glb. Now if I just log the model, so we need the geometry. So we have scene and other properties. Open the nodes, and inside node we have our diamond and it's the mesh, and we have the geometry. So it's under nodes dot diamond dot geometry. So if I just refresh, you can see we are getting buffer geometry this time. So instead of giving geometry this way, I'm going to manually give it geometry and model. So you can see we have our model at the center of the screen. Now the next task is to rotate it with the scroll. We need scroll progress to do that. We can get that from Lenis, global Lenis, use scroll bar. So we have our use scroll bar hook that we can use to get the Lenis variable use effect. Let's add global Lenis as a dependency. If I just log global Lenis, you can see we are getting some properties, and this also includes a Lenis variable which is responsible for the scroll, smooth scroll. So we can use that Lenis variable. So let me just add a if condition global Lenis dot Lenis. If that exists, then I'm going to global Lenis dot on scroll. I can pass a callback here, and this will run every time the user scrolls. So if I just refresh and scroll, you can see I'm getting object here. Yeah, we can get the progress here, progress. So if I just log it, you can see we have the scroll progress here, and it's 0 at the top and 1 at the bottom. So we can use that progress. Now we need the reference of this mesh. So const mesh equals use ref null, or we can reference the group here, ref mesh and mesh dot current dot rotation dot y equals the progress. Now if I just scroll, you can see this diamond is rotating with the scroll, but the amount it's rotating is very less because progress varies from 0 to 1. We need you can multiply it with a big number. I'm going to multiply it with math.py, multiply it with 2, so it's 360. It will rotate 360. So yeah, now if we come to this site, and you can see this logo also scales down and again comes to its original scale if I just stop scrolling. So we are going to do that. To do that we need the velocity, so velocity and mesh dot current dot scale dot set, and I'm going to create another variable here, const scale, give it velocity because we need to modify it a bit. So scale scale scale, so it will scale it uniformly in every direction x, y and z. If I just refresh, you can't see our diamond, and if I just scroll you can see, and it slowly disappears. Why that's happening? Because the velocity is 0 when the user is not scrolling, so we need to add something. So by default it's 1, so whenever the velocity becomes 0, 0 plus 1 is 1, so default value of scale is 1. So if I just refresh, you can see a diamond, and if I just scroll, you can see it's increasing its size, but I guess it's too much, so let's just decrease the velocity. 0.05 I guess would be better. Now if I just scroll, you can see it's scaling. Yeah, other I can use 0.001. Yeah, this looks cool. I guess we can use that. Now let's come to the next part. We need to create this cylindrical shape which has these images. I'm going to name it strip for now. Let's create the strip now. So I'm going to add a strip here, strip.jsx rafce. I'm going to add a group here. Let's just add the strip here. So strip like that. So I'm going to create a single strip and then I can add them vertically. To create the strip we need some variables. First of all, how many images do we have in one strip? So number of number of planes, it's 10. Now the second variable we need is the radius at which these are separated. So radius, yeah, so by default I can pass 1 as the radius. Now let's create this. So we have to get some positions. It will be array and it will have 10 different arrays with all the position x, y and z. Yeah, so now I'm going to create a for loop I and number of planes. So I can add positions dot push an array with x, y and z value. So let's just create x value and const y, const z. Yeah, so to create these variables we have to use some equations. So I'm going to show you those here in this 2D space, because if you see they are separated in only two directions, only in x and z. So we can use this formula sin a comma sin dot cos a. So let's just assume that a is a value for now. If I change this a value, you can see this red circle is moving in a circular way, and we can also change the radius of it by multiplying with another variable r. So if I just change the r, you can see that this is also changing. If I just make it 5 for now, 5, you can see the radius is 5 units. Yeah, so it's getting here. So we can use this formula. So one coordinate will be sine of x and another coordinate will be cos of that variable. So for example, we have sine of angle and we have cos of that angle in y direction, and in JavaScript we don't have sine cos like that. We have to use math dot sine, and another thing that we can multiply with the radius, change the radius of it, and we can pass 0 here. We don't need to move it in z direction for now. We can move it in x and y to see how it's looking. Now we need the angle, const angle. Now this is a tough question, like what should be the angle? So angle should be the total angle of a circle, so it's 360. And now what's the fraction of we are getting? So the current index and then the total number of planes, so it's the fraction. So is the fraction and it's the total angle. If we just multiply these two values, we will get the angle. Because we are dealing with SI units, we can't pass 360 here. We have to pass mat dot pi multiplied by 2. So it's pi, 2 pi radians. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create const meshes. This will be a array. I can just put mesh dot push. I can push a mesh here. So mesh, and this also works. So plane geometry with a mesh basic material. So if I just add the meshes here, by the way, we have to pass the position, otherwise it will not work. So position x, y and z, and let's just scale the group so we can see everything. Yeah, we can see it. Now let's just remove the logo for a bit so we can see it properly. Yeah, we can see it. We have to pass a unique key to everyone. So key should be the index. So you can see if I just change the radius to, you can see this is changing. If I just pass, I guess 3, you can see it's changing. I'm going to remove this position array because we don't need that anymore. Now we have another issue. Maybe you are thinking that this component is registered only once. If I just log hello, truly it's not running only once, it's running 6 times now. But we don't need this heavy calculation to perform every time. If I just resize, you can see that we are logging hello again. It's a heavy computation, so we don't need it to happen every time the user resizes the window or the component runs every time. So we don't need to create new meshes every time. To fix that, we can use memo. We can get the meshes here and it will run the for loop. I am going to just add the for loop here. So I can create mesh inside it. ms I can just pass empty dependency here or number of planes and radius. Whenever these two variable changes, we can see changes here. If I just console log something here, you can see it's running only once, and if I just resize the window, it's not running anymore. Now we can't see our meshes here. Why is that? Because we need to return something, return ms. So if I just return something, it will go inside the meshes. Okay, so if I show you the example, we need to move it in x direction and in z direction, not in y direction. So I can just cut this from y and paste it in place of z and make it 0. So if I just go to global scene, add orbit controls here so that I can drag, show you what's there. By the way, we can't see it from the back side, so I need to do something for that. So come to mesh basic material and add the side too, so that we can see it from the back side. Now the next thing is we want them to look at the center. If you see the example, the planes are looking at the center. So to do that, we can use look at method. By the way, I'm going to put this mesh in a different component because we have a lot of things to do with this component, so that's why. So let me just create another component, image JSX RAFCE, and cut the mesh from here, add image here. So image is a mesh. First of all, we need the position, put the position here, and we don't have the key. The image will need the key, pass the I. It will also need the position, so position x, y and z. So you can see it's the same thing, but we have the full control over the mesh now. So we can reference the mesh. So mesh, use ref null, get the reference ref mesh, add a use effect here and add a empty dependency so that it will render only one time. So mesh dot current dot look at 0 0 0. Now they are all looking at the center. Now this looks cool. We can just make it 6 because they also have 6 images there. We can make it 6, and let me just scale the image. Scale in x I need 1.5 and in y I need 1 and in z I need 1. Why I'm doing that? Because if you see, they are also looking like that. Yeah, and let me just scale it to 150. Scale the group 150. Now if you see, it's looking like the example here. Yeah. Now what we need to do is we have to bend this plane. So I'm going to use some shaders for that. So now you can see green colored paint. So what I just did is I just add shader material here and add the vertex shader, fragment shader. We have only basic boilerplate of vertex and fragment shader. Now what I'm going to do is, to bend this we need to see if they have enough subdivisions. So if I just pass wireframe here, you can see they don't have enough subdivisions, they have only 2 triangles. So we need more triangles, so put here arc, one in x direction and one in y direction, and we need subdivision along x axis. Let's just pass 32, and along y we can pass 1. Why just I passed 1 in y direction? Because we don't need to bend it in y direction, we don't need to bend it like this, we need to bend it like this. So that's why I'm subdividing it only in x direction, that way we can get better performance here. So let me just remove the wireframe now, create a new position, float new position, and use the position here, new position. By the way, if you want to learn how to bend a plane in a detailed way, you should check out this tutorial where I explained in detail that how to bend a plane. We created a flag animation together. It's a vector 3, yeah, and new position dot z plus equals sine of, we can use sine uv dot x, also we have to multiply it with pi, so 3.141. If I just refresh, you can see they are all bending in that direction. The direction is opposite, that's why let me just add minus here, so instead of plus equals you can pass minus. So yeah, now it's in right direction, but the amplitude is very big, so I can just decrease it 0.1. Now you can see they are looking like a cylinder. Yeah, perfect. So these are the values I am using, you can use the same. Now the next task is to add multiple strips. To create another component, JSX RAFCE, it's a group, and I'm going to add multiple strips here. So I'm going to create strips array, you can use memo, and now this will return a SA. Const SA is the strip array. Now use the for loop. Again we need some values here, num strips, so number of strips, we can just add SA dot push some strips here. So strip, we need to move it in y direction, so I can just pass index for now. So if I just go to gallery and comment this line and add strips, okay, so we need to render the strips array as well. So strips array, number of strips is 10 for now. Yeah, now you can see something, let me just pass a unique key to it, key index. Now you can see a strip, but we can't see multiple strips. Why is that? Because we are moving only 1 unit, 2 unit. If I just multiply it with 100, we have to use the y value inside strip. So I'm getting y here, pass the position y to be the y. So you can see multiple strips here. Let me just add 150, so that can just pass 200 for now. They are all looking at this center, we want them to look at their center. So what to do, inside image, if you see, we are passing look at 0 0 0, but we need to pass some y values here. So I'm going to just add another property here, y is y, or we can just pass look at y. So inside image I'm getting look at y, and it's the look at y. So if I just refresh, it's not working for some reason. Let me just check. Oh, the y is 0 here, it's 0, that's why. So I am just going to remove the y from here. Let me just add 0 here, so I can just get the look at y, the right value. Yeah, now if you see, they are all looking at their center. Now let's just move them to the bottom, because if you see, they have some at the top and some at the bottom, and these are going to interact with the scroll as well. Let me just modify the y here a bit. So I'm going to save it inside a variable, const y equals I multiplied by 200 for now, y. So I can add 5 here. So if you see, they have moved up, and if I just subtract 5, you can see they have moved down. Now let me just try adding number of strips, num strips. You can see they are moving down. Let me just add some value so we can move them up. 2 maybe. Let me just remove the orbit controls. So go to global scene, remove the orbit controls. Now the next task is to rotate it and move it up and down with the scroll. I'm going to reference this group to add some modifications. Const use ref null and add the reference group here. Use effect, I have to get the Lenis again. So const use scroll bar, and it will depend on again global Lenis if dot Lenis, then by the way it's underscore Lenis, not just Lenis, so global Lenis dot Lenis dot on scroll. I'm going to get the progress here and group current position dot y equals the progress, multiply it with a bigger number. Let me just try multiplying with what we have here, 200. Yeah, so I just refresh, you can see now they all are moving. I'm going to multiply it with number of strips as well, strips. Yeah, let me see, now it's working, but we need to subtract some value here, 2 maybe, because we added 2 here, I don't know. So if I just show you, they are here. Let me just try subtracting 3. Let's see what's happening. What happens? Yeah. Now this looks yeah, this looks good. Now the next task is to rotate them as well with the scroll. So let's just try rotating. Group current rotation y equals progress multiplied by 2 multiplied by math dot pi. I already explained that what I'm doing here. Yeah, you can see it's also rotating. Now if I just show you here, they are rotating and moving, and another thing happening that they are scaling as well. So let's just try scaling them. So group current scale dot set. I'm just going to get this code from logo because I did that here. So copy and paste it right here. Let's just replace mesh with the group. So group current, and we have to get the velocity here. Yeah, if I just refresh, it should be scaling down, and I guess the intensity is too much. Let's just try decreasing 0.05. Yeah, I also think the strip here is too much. 100, let's just pass 120 maybe. Yeah, I guess it's better now. Now let's just decrease the intensity again here, 22. Yeah, now it looks cool. So you can see, by the way, another small thing to notice, they are moving in random direction by default, and they also don't have equal scaling. So what I'm going to do is go to the strip and add random scaling for each of them and add the rotation as well. So I have to get the group const group equals useref. By the way, I'm inside strip now, inside strip. So use the use frame, and we can get the clock here, get the time here, clock dot elapsed time, and yeah, group current rotation dot y equals time. Okay, we have to pass the ref here, ref group. You can see they are moving in one direction, so I'm going to get some random values. For that, I'm just going to use some gsap utilities function. So let me just install gsap npm run dev. So yeah, so const direction equals gsap, import the gsap utils dot random. I'm going to get a value that will vary from minus 0.3 to 0.3 to decrease the intensity as well. So time multiplied by direction. If I just refresh, you can see they are all moving in random direction and with a random intensity. Okay, they also have random scales as well. So let me just get a use effect here, use effect, and add group current scale set random value here, const equals some value one for now. Add the random here, random, and the scale would be gsap utils dot random, and this random value varies from 100 to 120. If I just refresh, you can see they have random scales. I guess 110 and 130 would be better. Yeah, this looks cool. So what's next? Let's just add the logo again. Now let's make it semi-transparent so that we can see through it. So go to fragment shader, add opacity 0.5 and go to image. This will not work because we have to add the transparency. So transparent, now you can see through it. Yeah, this looks better now. I'm going to add some textures over these images. So to do that, I have to first download some images from Unsplash. So I just downloaded some images, you can see, but the size was very big. So what I did, I just add a new folder and then added WebP version of that image, and now the size is significantly small, 56 KB. We can use this image now. So now what I'm going to do, inside strips I can just get the textures from all the textures. So const textures, use texture, and this will return me one texture if I just pass one src here, and if I just pass pass an array, then it will give me a array of textures. So I'm going to pass array with all the images. So yes, no, let's go. So if I just log it, you can see we have some textures here. We can pass the textures to the strip. So yeah, strip. So textures, yes, textures, and inside strip we have to accept that textures, and we can pass a random texture to the mesh. So inside image here, I can pass the texture, and note that we have texture here. It's texture, not textures. Okay. Now here I have to get a random texture. So if I just log the textures, you can see this is some array. This gives me all the textures here, but I don't need them. I need a random texture. So I'm just going to get const random texture equals gsap utils dot random, and if I just pass the textures here and log the random texture, you can see I'm getting all the random textures for everything, and you can verify that by looking at this UUID, and it's different than this one. Yeah, so let me just pass the random texture here. Texture, go to image and get the random texture here, and let me just comment this and add a basic material so I can just preview what's the texture I'm getting. Map texture. So you can see I'm getting this. So for one strip, for every strip I'm getting a random texture, but I need for each image I want a random texture. So how to do that? I can just pass true here, and it will give me a function instead of a value. So if I just log the random texture function now, you can see I'm getting a function. If I just run the function, you can see I'm getting a random texture every time. So it's random texture. So I just need to run the random texture instead of giving it as a value. So if you see now, you can see they all have a random texture. Each plane have its random texture. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to map the texture over it using some uniforms, and I'm going to use the shader material here. So what I just did is I just pass the texture through a uniform, and inside fragment shader I'm just retrieving the texture and creating a texture image of it through it. So using the VUV here, and this VUV is I'm getting from the vertex shader through a varying. So but still, if you see, these images are looking distorted, stretched. For example, you can see this girl, this is looking stretched. To fix that, I'm going to use object fit in GLSL. So if you don't know about object fit in GLSL, then you should be checking out this tutorial where I explained about how to use object fit in GLSL. So I'm just going to do that now. So now you can see they are properly visible, they are not stretched now. What I just did, I'm going to explain quickly. So I just in vertex shader, I just use this function to stretch the UV using the container size and image size. If I show you here in image, I'm passing it through uniform u container size and u image size. It's a vector 2 with some values. For the container size, it's the scale in x and scale in y. So scale in x is 1.5 and scale in y is 1. That's why I passed here these values. And then image size is the width of the image and height of the image. Height. So texture.image.width, texture.image.height. These are some other interactions in it, like the depth effect and the hover effect and the RGB effect. I'm not going to create that in this video because video is already very long. Video has become already very long. But if you want me to create all these micro effects, then you can tell me in the comments. Okay, so that's all for this one. See you in the next one. Peace.